Could you eat nothing but meat for a week, a month, a year, forever? As a food and nutrition scientist and a foodie.
A food and nutrition expert here. And a foodie, don't forget. She is an expert in her field. Let's hear what she's got to say.
The carnivore diet, which is essentially meat and nothing else, sounds strict, joyless, and unbalanced to me.
So it sounds unbalanced to you. Well, then you're not much of a food and science expert, are you? Because there's nothing unbalanced about eating meat. Meat has every single nutrient that the human body requires. So what's unbalanced about that?
But there is actual research data that says people feel better on these kinds of diets. And if you ask people doing these diets, that's what a lot of them will say.
Well, maybe that's because that's what's actually happening. People are starting to feel better when they get the correct nutrition they need for whatever goals it is they're trying to achieve. Seems a bit sensible to me.
So what explains this? So it could be that going on a strict diet gives you a sense of community, which obviously feels nice. It can also help reduce the burden of decision making. You make more than 300 decisions about food in any given day.
I'm not sure that feeling part of a community actually heals any particular diseases or illness. Yes, while it's nice to talk to like-minded people in the same situation as you are, I do feel that being part of a community is not going to achieve many people's goals. And the only reason we have so many decisions to make is because we have so many wrong foods to pick from.
Biologically, strict diets can make people feel better because they're essentially the first step in an elimination diet where we cut out all of the things that we might be reacting to. But normally, the next step is to reintroduce foods to find the culprit and avoid missing out on the benefits of all the other foods.
Yes, that's right. An elimination diet, a form of an elimination diet, to take out all the bad things in your nutrition just to leave behind the good things. Find a baseline. And yes, some people do reintroduce foods, but very often they go back to square one. So you may as well not introduce the foods that were causing you the problems in the first place.
It's also easier to avoid overeating when you're just eating one thing. Essentially, you get bored.
No, you don't get bored. If anyone says you get bored of eating meat and eggs, then you are just eating when you're not hungry. If you are hungry, you love eating meat and eggs because your body wants the nutrition, wants the fats, wants the proteins that's available to you. If you are getting bored, you're eating too often and you're not eating the right things.
So that can help you lose weight, which can make people feel better. But that's partly biology and it's partly the weight of society's expectations. Ultimately, eating is tricky. We aren't eating just for today. These diets might make you feel better in the short term, but we can't always feel the long-term consequences like blocked arteries or weak bones.
Whoa there, Mrs. Food Scientist, just throwing in weak bones and blocked arteries there, as if the carnivore diet is the one that's causing weak bones and blocked arteries. Well, I think you'll find if you do go back to the science drawing board, then bone density tends to be related to minerals, and mineral deficiencies like calcium can cause weak bones. But there is no mineral deficiencies in a carnivore diet. There is no vitamin and mineral missing from an animal-based nutrition. So it is not going to cause weak bones. Something like a vegan nutrition may have deficiencies, which could lead to weak bones, as well as lack of protein to help build essential amino acids which keep bones strong. So that's one thing you might want to look into. Another thing, blocked arteries. Well, blocked arteries, I know you're going to say, is caused by cholesterol, and cholesterol is often found to be blocking arteries, but cholesterol is not the root cause to why the artery has become blocked. I'm sure if you go back to the drawing board and research the science, you'll find out for yourself that cholesterol is the thing trying to reduce the inflammation in the inflamed arteries. And the arteries have become inflamed in the first place because you have done something to inflame them, i.e., eat the wrong nutrition.
So for these diets, the official advice remains the same. It's boring, but it's true. Everything in moderation.
And there we have it, the classic everything in moderation. Well, how do you know how to moderate everything? How much sugar should you have? How much salt? How many minerals and vitamins? How much of this vitamin, that mineral? How much protein, fats, carbohydrates? If you're talking calories, who burns so many calories other than anybody else burns calories? Moderation just does not exist. You cannot physically moderate anything. The only thing that can moderate things are the hormones in your own body. We moderate our hunger. We moderate our thirst. We moderate our salt intake. We do not, and we have not evolved anything to moderate our own sugar intake. All the body can do is process the sugar and store it as energy, i.e., fat.